Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Finance is not worth losing your life over. Family tragedies should be lessons for all Robinhooders. Presented with a little comment as Frank. It speaks for itself. Now this article here, look at this here, okay? This is still raw, and I have more questions than answers, but it's very important that it's very important in instincts of what I speak about here. Hopefully, my family's tragedy can help another's family's tragedy. My cousin-in-law was interested in investing. He opened a Robinhood account, and he seemed to be enjoying the markets, as many of us do, and have got interested in options. Very. He believes he had no margin selected on his account. So he began buying and selling options. Guys, that's a very buying options, yes, because when you buy options, guys, that's why I love buying options, because the maximum I can lose is what I'm in the market. Even if I have 20% of my account in one position, that's the maximum I can lose. I can't lose a lot more. That's why I love buying options. Selling options is a very risky strategy. In the long term, it's not really a good... it may be for really large investors who know they definitely want to buy a certain stock at a certain price. So yes, selling options at that price would be, it's like, okay, well, if Facebook drops 10%, I'm happy to buy it at that price. That's where I'm happy to buy it. So, selling options there, but that's much larger, okay, much larger investors. But for the average retail investor, don't be selling options. Why? Because like what he says here, right? Let's actually move this up through here. Let's zoom in here a bit more. He says, fast forward to sometime this past week, and his account showed him owing $700,000. He does. How does a 20-year-old with no income get access to that sort of exposure? That's crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. So, guys, if you guys don't think we're at the top of the market right now, with one massive amount of people entering the market. If I go to this article through here right now, this is actually about Fortnite. 10-year-olds are now not playing Fortnite because they're day trading. Crazy, right? A record number of spiked people entering the market when most people are greedy, be fearful, And then obviously look at this here. To this, we cannot add the recent trends for Robinhood, which predictably is also at all-time high. Look at people in Robinhood right now. I've heard Robinhood just being really bad. Okay, so guys, please, there is no shortcut to this here, guys. Use a predictable broker. For me personally, I like using interactive brokers because they're not a very quick. They've got so much restriction or so much security behind it as well too, and so on and so forth. But let's actually continue here with this article through here. So the emotional stress from the exposure caused him to take his own life. Absolutely crazy, guys, okay? I don't feel right sharing this, but I also don't feel right keeping it from the world. Why? Because recently I've been joking around about how much I love the DGG. I've been laughing at the Robin memes. But here's the truth. Please pay attention to this if you are young. The markets are bananas right now. It's not the time for amateurs. Really pay attention to position sizing. Stay away from exotic instruments like options and futures. I wouldn't say that. All I would say is if you're going to trade futures, make sure you definitely have a stop in place and don't leave it. If you're trading short term, like 1 minute charts and so on and so forth, what I've learned by trading those markets and trading those instruments is that one, have a stop in place, and two, always have one or at least one, but preferably two internet backups, right? And so that's what I do personally. So I actually have, for me personally, what I do is with my trading, I use interactive brokers, and even when I'm doing my trading, I have my internet connection at home, which most of my trading is done. Then I have a broadband stick that I can plug into my laptop, or at least even just have the broadband stick and plug it in my desktop, and I can activate it through there. And last but least, I can hop onto my phone and then log in through the app trader to see my positions and activate and execute and so on and so forth. In fact, recently I actually had to do that. Recently, the interactive brokers platform went down, which 99% of the time it's good, and I've been using it for years and years and years. But for some reason, I just couldn't log into the interactive brokers trading platform. So all I did is just open up my phone, click, because I already had the app there, log in, put my details there, and I was logged in straight away, and I could get out of a position that I wanted to get out of with no hassles. And also I could enter a position as well too, no hassles as well too. So that's all I say. If you're going to trade the futures market, firstly, understand whenever you have a stop in place, understand that risk there, okay? And that risk should never be more than, say, a couple percent on your account. And options are really, really good because not selling options, as I was saying before. Don't be selling options, because that's how I believe he got $700,000 in loss, because I believe he was looking at, oh my goodness, I can sell these options and make all this money. All he was probably seeing was all the money he was bringing into the account, without even having to pay anything. It's like, oh, this is easy money. I'm making all this money and don't even have to do anything. And then suddenly, obviously, when things go really wrong, that's when he can just really, 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 really be in big trouble, right? And before you know it, you just made $20,000 in income from the options, but now you owe and now if the market goes against you, you now have to buy the stock for $400,000, and maybe you don't even have that in the account. So we can see that through there, guys. And he said here, the market's up and down right now. It's not the time for amateurs. Really, really, really pay attention to position sizes, especially options. And again, options, that's the reason why my number one strategy is buying options. For the risk, because my risk is only what I can put in there. The upside, I can make 2, 3, 4, 500% return, 1,000% return. And then also my maximum risk is what I actually put in the market at any given time. So if the whole world goes belly up, guess what? And I've got, say, 10% of my account in the market, that's the maximum I can lose. That gives me that sleep at night factor. And I absolutely love that. There are the times Warren Buffett talks about being more careful than others. It's probably right now. Almost everything you see on this platform is coming from someone else with a bias, myself included, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I do have to ask if you know any Robinhoods willing to extend my credit, et cetera, et cetera. Rest in peace. Yeah, there we go. All right. So